morning. Good morning from Melbourne, Australia. Good evening to friends in North America. And hello to anyone watching on replay. My name is Nancy Hetker, and I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator here in Melbourne, Australia. And boy, it is great to be back with you guys. It has been more than a little minute. I had a great time visiting the USA. Saw lots of friends and family. Had about a week and a half of being ill with influenza A, but survived that and the subsequent bronchitis and various medical visits, and happy to have seen everybody and happy to be home and happy to be back with you today. So I'm going to get started, but along the way, if you have any questions or comments, please leave them in the comments, either here on the live broadcast on Facebook or on replay, either on Facebook or YouTube. I will see them and I will respond to you. You can also reach out to me directly, Nancy at nancysniftynotes.com, or check out my blog and class offerings at nancysniftynotes.com. Speaking of classes, today is the deadline to RSVP to come in person, and preferably if you wanted to order a kit here in Australia for my holiday card class this month. So I'm going to give you a very quick look-see at the cards we're going to be making. I have little teaser pictures on my emails that have gone out to people and on my Facebook post, but this is one, and it uses the pearl enamel effects, some of which I've colored and some of which is just straight white, to make this really cool tree. Here's one using the, what is it? Winterly, oh gosh, I'm losing the name of the suite. Nests of Winter, Winterly Trees. That does a New Year card. Hi, Gladys. Glad you could join me. Here's one, a mashup of, again, Nests of Winter and the Country Birdhouse. These are for the class that I'm teaching this week. If you wanted to come join me in person, today, Wednesday, is the deadline to let me know that. If you want to purchase a kit that includes all of the cardstock, and add on any of the stamp sets and dies and such that you don't already own, I would prefer to know it today, but you can still let me know later on. And there will be a PDF and video tutorial to make all of these. So there's one, Humble Home, combined with this great embossing folder. And then here's Sweetest Star with a really simple fun fold that opens like that. And yeah, and we're going to be using Sweetest Star in my card today. So there's a sneak peek of those. And I will set those aside. And the card we're making today, I saw someone online do them. And these do not have to be holiday cards, but I thought it was a quick, fun way to do some holiday cards. Yeah, so I'm going to go through this with you. I'm using Sweetest Star, which has these fun star-shaped figures and a punch to punch them out. And I'm going to use the Santa, and I'm going to pair it with, I think this is my favorite Designer Series paper for the holiday season. This is the Take a Bow, or Take a Bow. I don't know how you're supposed to pronounce it. It's supposed to be, well, supposed to. It is put in the mini catalog alongside the die set that makes the flowery bows. I did not buy that die because I don't do a lot of packages with bows, and you can't really mail the bows on a card. But I love the bold colors and patterns of this paper. So for this card, I am going to use this piece, and let me bring in my paper trimmer. Oh, I'm glad you like the class samples. I think they're going to be fun to make. So I'm going to try to keep this where you can see it. So this paper, it's 6 by 6. If you know me, you know that's not my favorite because for cards it leaves a weird strip, but that's okay. So we're just going to make your first layer for a card, which if you're working in metric like I am, it's 10 centimeters by 14.4 centimeters. If you're working in inches, that's what, 4 inches by 5¼ inches. So you can see when you cut that, it leaves, I mean, this can be used on a piece, and this I suppose can go at the bottom of the inside usually, but anyway, when you're working with 12 by 12, you can get 6 card fronts very easily out of it. And there's, I feel, more wastage. Oh, I still need this when we're working with the 6 by 6s. Anyway, that's my little rant. So I wasn't sure. Let me go ahead and cut a real red base. I wasn't sure which card base would be best with this one. So I'm going to go ahead and make a real red one, and then we can look and decide. And you do not need to make a tent fold. I like to do that particularly because when I photograph them to go on my blog, it's much easier to stand them up and get a nice picture. But you can make them book folds if that's how you prefer to send cards. And then I like to use my bone folder and get a nice burnished crease so they lie flat. So I've got garden green, basic white, and real red because we're going to have this paper on, but let me bring my trimmer back in again. We are just going to fold down the corner, and I am not measuring this because life is kind of short, and we're just going to go for it. I do suggest that when you're scoring it, so you've got your corner right in the track there, in the groove, on the groove. So I recommend that you score from the long edge and not start at the corner, because you're more likely to just bash in the corner than to get a nice score mark. So now I think I can finally put that away for good. And then we're going to fold that down. So now you can see both sides of this fun paper. And now it's just a matter of deciding, and we can actually wait and decide this once we have our Sweetest, all the pieces ready to go. I have a feeling I'm going to like it best on the white, but maybe on the green. Anyhow, we'll come back to that. Oh, and getting it the right way around is always good too. So let me bring in a piece of paper to stamp on. I'm going to set that aside for now, and we'll stamp our Santa on here. And again, this is Memento ink, and I inked up one of the ink pads that comes with the Craft white ink. It comes with an uninked pad, and I just tossed the white ink into my stash and inked up this foam pad with Memento. For little lines like this, the original Memento pad works just fine, but if you're doing anything that's bolder than that, you get a better image if you use the foam pad. So this has just become my go-to. And now I'm going to bring in some blends. And I will walk you through which ones they are in just a moment. So I have the Real Red blends. That's Light Smoky Slate. We'll see if we use that. This is the light flirty flamingo, light gray granite. This is the ivory. If you don't have the ivory or bronze, if you have the lights, those work well for faces. You can make him whatever skin tone you want. But I'm going to start with the ivory here and color in his ears and his face. Including his nose. And then I'm going to put just a little dab of this light flirty flamingo on his nose. Just the lightest little bit. It's really subtle. And right at his mouth. You can barely see it. And then what am I going to do? I'm going to do some real red. And I'm going to do a little bit of kind of shading work around some edges. So this is the dark, and I'm going around his beard. I usually start with the light, but I saw somebody do this and I thought, that's a pretty cool technique. So we'll see how this works on this one. And just where I think it might be a little bit shadowed, under his belt maybe. The arm creases there. Under his beard. Now I'm going to go in and fill in with the light real red and kind of blend out from that darker. And again, that'll probably be pretty subtle, that dark, little darker bit there, but subtle is fine. And one reason I kept the belt until last is I got a little bit of red in there, but I think the black is going to cover it right up and be a non-issue. There we go. Oh, and some red here on his cap. Okay. So I've got, what is this one? This one is Dark Daffodil Delight, and I'm going to just do his belt buckle. And now I'm going to come in with the, I thought I had, oh, it's still in the little box. There we go, light basic black. And we'll do his belt. Yep, that covered up the red. No issue. And I'm going to do his boots in the black. There we go. And now his hands, I'm going to say they're gloved, but they're not where is it? I'm going to use a light gray granite. I don't want them as dark as the boots. And yeah. And then I'm going to go ahead and punch him out. And here's what we're going to do. We're going to bring these back in and we're going to figure out which one we want it on. And I think this is a 2.5 inch circle, and I may go ahead and mount him on there, depending on which paper we use. So that might be kind of nice to kind of set him off more so he's not kind of lost in all the pattern. You see that? I'm just going to go ahead and tack this down. So I'm not fighting with it too. So there's on red. I do like that. There's on the green. I don't like that as much, I don't think. And there's on the white. I think I like it on the red best. It's one of those things that you don't know until you know, sometimes I can't tell until I actually get it. I like that. And I'm going to do a sentiment strip too. And I think I'm going to use, this is Wishing You a Holly Jolly Christmas. And it's right out of the same set here. Yeah, there it is. And I'm going to do it in real red. So these little strips, I just have a whole bucket of them over here. And they're, when I cut down layers to go onto my cards, I get these little itty bitty ones, and I get this size, and I just keep them to use for sentiments or layers or whatever I might need. I keep some of them. I get just boatloads of them. So, but that way I don't feel like I'm tossing them all in recycling. And then I'm going to figure out how I'm going to trim this down to go on there. I could just cut it straight. I could cut them on an angle. Or I could flag them. I'm going to show you momentarily here my favorite way to flag them. This is a retired punch. It's the banner punch. And if you go in from the back side, you can just line it right up. Anything up to about 1/2 inch or so. And love that. So I've kept that punch clearly because I really like how quick and easy that is. So let's get this put together. So we're just going to add some glue here. And like I said, you can use this with any papers, any stamp set, any occasion. But we're in Christmas card mode, so I thought that would be fun and easy. Let's see. I think we will pop him up. Put glue down the circle. And you can choose how much of the point you cover up, how much of up here you cover up. I've seen that where this was way down and the sentiment is up in here, which is a cool layout as well. And where did my minis were right in the same place as the regular size ones. And now they went poof. Oh, there they are underneath. There we go. This takes minis perfectly. So we'll go one there, one there, a couple in between. If I were making a lot of these, I would do it production line. So I would go through and I would cut all of my DSP and score it. I would cut all my bases. I would stamp a whole bunch of the Santas and color them. I would make a whole bunch of the sentiments. Like so and like so. There's for the inside. And if I really wanted to get fancy, I might put Mrs. Claus in here. See, like I said, that fits right there, so let's go ahead and add that. Like so. And there is the finished card. So I will show you, I did 2 others yesterday. Here, and I used paper that is, I believe, no longer available. It's called Joy of Christmas, and it was an online exclusive until earlier this year. And I think it's probably sold out in all markets. But I colored these with my watercolor pencils and a blender pen. And again, I did the Santa. I used cherry cobbler where the shadows were and the real red the other places. And like I said, my blender pen. And this one I did a base of real red with some cherry cobbler over it. This is, again, from Ness Winterly. I don't know why I can't remember these names. Winterly Treetops stamp set. And then the Merry Christmas is out of the Greetings of the Season. So again, here's a couple other versions of it. This one could use a little sparkle too, maybe. Let me see what I've got here. I think I have some nice green ones that might work well. These are the earth tone shimmer dots, but that's garden green. here. Oh my goodness. I hate it. I always put one down and then I decide I don't like where I've put it. Let's call that good. There we go. Okay. Thank you for joining me today. This will be up in my next blog post. And I will be back same time, same place next week. And I hope to see you then. Bye-bye.